Hi everyone, this is Natraj. I'm back with another video. In this video, I am going to talk about that migrate that Terraform state from local backend to GCP Storage Bucket. By default, the Terraform stores the state locally in the file name called terraform.tf state. The by default configurations make the usage difficult for the teams. When we working with multiple users run that terraform command at the same time, it will create the state file for individual users. To avoid that such a case of the issues, to configuring the remote state and the pointed into the Google Storage Bucket. So overview. So first we are going to create the cloud storage bucket where that remote state can be persistence. Then we are creating the GCP service account with the service tail file saved into the locally. Then we are migrating the Terraform state from the local to remote Google storage bucket. So we are moving to that Visual Studio Code. We are at the Visual Studio Code. The entire source code is available on my repository. You can clone from any time. So in this repository, I created the two folder. The first one is that GCS. So the GCS folder is acting as the bucket creation. The second folder is TF. It is acting as the resource creations. In generally, the Terraform does not create that automatically for the remote backend creations. The backend creation infrastructure must to configuring the separate before you are applying your Terraform configuration to create the resource. So in these separations, you can ensure that you have the control over where and how the Terraform store into the state files. So first we can go into that GCS folder. We can see that file one by one. First we can open that bucket.tf file. So in the Google storage block, we define and configuring that Google Cloud Storage Bucket, which allow to provide all the features and that configuration suit per my need. So we can see the parameter one by one. The first one is the naming. This is a naming of my bucket name, which always it comes with a unique name. Next one is that storage class. So in my case, I choose with the regional storage. Next one is the location. Yeah, you can choose that any desired location based on your application need. Next one is that force underscore destroyed equal to true. We are enabling the force destroyed to allow to delete the bucket. Suppose if you containing that any state file during the deletions, it won't delete, but we are forcefully to delete the entire bucket itself, even though it be containing any files. Next file is that provider.tf file. So the provider block generally can establish the connection to the infrastructure block. You can see here that credentials, I'm using the service account JSON file. So this service account I provide the necessary permissions, so you can able to create the bucket creations. Next one is the project, region and the zones. According to my project demo, I created in that all the things. It can be vary into that project to project. Next one is that variable.tf file. The variable is the placeholder for that values you can use to make that configuration reference. Next we are moving to that tf directories. So we can see the file one by one. First I can open with that backend.tf file. So this Terraform backend block is to set the new locations of the Terraform to state where we want to store. So you can see here the backend we provide as a GCS, so it's directly pointed with my bucket. Then you can credentials is required, otherwise it won't transfer the data from local to bucket. Next one is the bucket name. So we define the bucket name whichever we created the earlier for the GCS folder. Then is a prefix is a optional, but here we are state file we are storing into that object name. Next one is that provider.tf file. It more or less similar only. So the provider block usually to establish the connection to that infrastructure provider will almost same whichever we referred earlier. Next one is that sa.tf file. So we are going to create that multiple service account using the module. You can see the source and the versions at the time of recording. This version is available on 4.2.3. Then a project ID in the names it be according to my projects. So here I am creating the multiple user service account. You can see that dev-user and pro-users, and I generated the key equal to true. Next one is the project role. I'm assigning the viewer and that storage object viewers of the corresponding service account, whichever I'm creating here. Next one is the displaying names. So this is for the naming conventions, and the description is also naming convention for my service account creations. So next one is that variable.tf file. So the variable TFL is as same like that earlier. So the variable here we are providing with the placeholder for my values to use to my configuration reference. Now I'm going to click the 3 dot terminal, new terminal. So I'm moving to that GCS folder. So I'm going to executing the Terraform init command to download the plugins. Fine. Then I'm going to executing the plan command to validate my syntax and the configuration reference. So one resource going to add. Then I'm going to executing the Terraform apply command. I'm providing the user input is yes. Yes, now the bucket is created. Now I'm moving to the TF directory. So before creation the Terraform resource, I'm going to that command that the bucket creation part, because then only that the state will be created me locally. Just elaborate the screen. Now I'm going to executing the Terraform init command to downloading all the plugins. Now I'm going to executing the Terraform plan command to validate my syntax and that calling method. Yes, it be going to add that 8 resource. So now I'm going to executing the Terraform apply command. So I'm providing the user input is yes. Now that service account creation is going on. Terraform operation is successfully completed. You can see here the Terraform state file is created locally. Now I'm back to that backend.tf file. I enabled that all the configuration whichever I commanded earlier. So make it uncommandable. So now I'm back to that terminal. Now I'm going to executing the Terraform init command to migrating my local file to the bucket. Terraform init -migrate -state. Now the backend initialization is going on. It asking the user input yes. Now the file will be transferred to the GCP bucket. I provide the yes input. Yeah, now that successfully they transfer that all the state file into the bucket. So we'll be moving to the GCP bucket to validate that whether the state file is reflected or not. Now at my GCP console, I'm moving to that cloud storage. I click the bucket. Now I click that bucket name, the previous name. Yeah, the default.tf stage is referring here. So this is a way we can able to transfer that local state file to that GCP bucket. I hope this video will be useful to everyone. Thanks for watching. Bye.